Yeah, very interesting. And of course, these days, I think people are very confused when it comes to diet. Even
Yeah.
I get confused because I listen to various experts. They all seem to know what they're doing and very, very well schooled and have completely opposing point of views. So
It's so
it does get very challenging. I can imagine what people were wondering. Should I go low carb? Should I go, low fat? Um, should I, yeah, should I avoid animal products? I mean, all these are, it's a very confusing time.
You know, it is. And I'm certainly not going to sit here and say that my way is the right way. I could just say that it's because we use the symptoms to track it. If the symptoms get better, right? Like I said earlier, it's not just enough to just say, okay, my A1C get better, but I can't go up the stairs. If you're feeling better, then it's the right diet for you. And if I'm doing it and you're feeling worse, it's the wrong diet for you. So I feel like it doesn't get much simpler than that. I mean, in addition to tracking labs and making sure you're okay and you haven't created any issues, if you're feeling better, then what could be a better understand, proof that you're on the right diet?
Yeah, right.
And
But
sometimes, I'm sorry.
oh no, yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
I was gonna say sometimes it's more complex than that, right? This is the easy patient. Right? Sometimes I've had patients where even though we removed things, they still had GI discomfort or they still had, certain skin issues. And it was like, well, what else can we remove? And that's when you have to start thinking about specialized testing. That's when we start doing labs like Cyrex labs or special stool testing, because then it's a little bit more complex. So I'll give you an example. I had a patient, very thin woman, already kind of eating really well before she came to me. When I came to her, I just tweaked it a little bit more. The weight loss wasn't an issue. Compliance with diet wasn't an issue. And even though I tweaked it a little bit more, she still had GI issues. So the first test we ran, again, I always try to wait a few months before we start spending money on tests because sometimes we don't need it. First test we ran, turns out that within her healthy foods, she was very sensitive to spinach and tomatoes. Who the heck would have known spinach and tomatoes? Like,
Oh,
right? So we removed that. And
uh-huh.
that was like something that she ate often. So it got a little bit better, but not 100%. So then we did stool testing and we discovered that she doesn't have enough digestive enzymes.
Hmm.
So, but we had to go very slow with digestive enzymes. She couldn't handle them, at every meal. So we started like once every other day. And again, because we tracked her symptoms, we started what we started tracking was how many days between flare-ups. So if before it was flare-ups every day, and we got to every other day. Then we added another enzyme, and we got so now I just saw her recently. We're up to 7 to 10 days between flare-ups, and that's how we're marking her improvement because the labs are perfect. Her labs are pristine. So sometimes you have to get a little bit more than just the diet, and it depends on what's going on with the patient.
Yeah, you really have to be a superb detective to because you're really fine tuning and you're just and all these little symptoms can have a multitude of causes and the conventional medicine because the symptoms too little they just brush it off. This is, well, yeah, it's too bad, drink some more water, do more
Yeah.
exercise.